If you're feeling hurt, rejected, betrayed, then I want to encourage you to try this before reacting, before cutting them off, before slamming that door, before hurting them in retaliation. I understand. I understand how this feels. There is an unhealed version of me who used to hit out, sometimes even very literally, at any sort of conflict, grievance, insult. I just didn't take it. I just didn't take it. And I felt like I had to protect myself by puffing up and pushing back harder. And I can tell you right now, and you probably know from experience, it didn't work out very well for me. It did not help anything. Anger and or violent, explosive behavior only results in more conflict and greater consequences. And something that I've really learned along my spiritual journey, and that's what this channel is dedicated, sharing my spiritual journey with you, everything I'm learning and everything I'm going through. I started this back in 2010 and I've been through a lot since then. And ever since I decided to be more conscious and mindful about what I'm thinking and feeling, because I know that we are all very powerful creators, and this is the fuel that determines what gets projected in our external environment, what is going on in here, and in here is going to impact the life that we live and the experiences that are presented to us. So I've been really committed over the past 15 years to doing what I can to minimize these periods of spiraling, ranting, and feeling sorry for myself. And one such situation happened recently. I won't get into the details because they don't matter. What I will say is I felt hurt and betrayed. All the things I said in that opening hook, I felt all of those things. And my immediate quadruple Aquarius response was block, delete, bye. You'll never hear from me again. And I cried. I was on the phone with my mom. She's a saint. And I was like, Mom, I just want to feel my feelings. I just want to rant it out. I just want to be real honest about how it feels and give myself 10 minutes to feel sorry for myself. I just want 10 minutes to say whatever it is I'm feeling, just to be very raw and vulnerable and real. And she held space for me to do this. I'm going to purge it all out and then I'm going to transmute it. I'm not going to stay in this energy. I do want to release it though. Because in the past, I would try to Pollyanna my way through these really challenging times and be like, I'm not going to feel this. I'm not going to think this. I'm not going to say control, alt, delete, but I'm going to get to a better feeling place. And that's all great and stuff. But what I've learned is the anger, the emotion, it's got to go somewhere before we transmute it. It has to be released. So this is my process. I'm going to share it with you. This is what I did. I gave myself 10 minutes to rant, 10 minutes to be a human, 10 minutes to stomp my feet and cry and say, why me? Why does this always happen? And then I went for a walk. Because walking, as I say this, you will hear me say this over and over again. Walking is one of the ways to move that energy through the body. Move it. Get it out of here. Make it go away, channel it, use it as fuel for moving your body. Yes, you can channel that rage, you can channel that anger, you can channel that pain into fuel that makes your body move. So I went out and did 1.5 miles just like that. The time went just like that. I walked the energy out. By the time I was finished with that 1.5 miles, I was in a neutral state. I believe one of the quickest ways to transmute energy is to move it through the body. And what better way to do that than a walk and talk? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it can be one of the best 30-minute time blocks you've ever spent because it gives you the opportunity to connect with me on things like planning your next right action steps, being a sounding board for your next big idea, or even showing you that there are lots of big ideas and infinite realities available to you. And you just need somebody to believe in you, show you that it's possible, and tell you what they see. So if you want to go on a 30-minute walk and talk with me, I'm going to drop that link for you down in the comments. You can check it out. Now, on to the video. I felt neutral about the situation. Wasn't feeling particularly good. Wasn't feeling so bad anymore. Kind of like, all right, this is what it is. I see, I understand. Slowly replaying it in my head. You know how we do, like where we play it and we're like, oh, we wince like, oh, it hurts so bad. Oh my gosh, it's so painful to think about. But I allowed myself to do it a few times to where I could take that sting out, take the charge out. I was like, let's take the charge out of this, take the charge out of this situation. So I did that. And then I woke up the next day, and I always go on a morning walk. That's part of my morning routine. And on this walk, I got to thinking about it again. How was I going to approach this situation from a new standpoint today? And as I brought in Jesus, I was like, Jesus, I've been friends with Jesus since I was a child. Like Jesus and I were very close. So I started talking to Jesus and I was like, Jesus, what do I do? What do I do to transmute this situation? And then I heard that I have to approach the situation from a place of pure, unconditional love. I have to come from that place of pure, unconditional love. Because as I know, love is the most transformative power in the world. Love has the power to shift any situation, to diffuse any situation. I know this. I know it. And I also know that anger, spite, fear, control, these are devastating to relationships, to experiences, to opportunities. So I know that that is not the winning play. I know that. So I agreed. Yes, you're right, love. I have to come from this place of love. So I started feeling into that unconditional place of love. And I brought that in. And I started making decisions from that unconditional place of love. How can I pour more love onto this situation? What can I do to show up as a more loving version of myself in this situation? And I want to be clear about something. Often, there are times when we experience conflict, issues, things constantly going wrong in a situation or a relationship because they serve as feedback to let us know that we are not in alignment with those things. So in other words, it's not for us. This isn't to say that every time you have conflict, you leave or do something different. It's not meant for you. You know, especially if you're intuitive, you know when a situation has run its course. You know when the contract is over. You know when the time is up. You know. And as humans, we get nice and comfy in the known, in our comfort zone. And so even things that are painful and uncomfortable feel like a better option than letting it go and making space for something new to come in, because we want to occupy that space. We want that space to be occupied, even if it's occupied with something that's less than desirable, because it's better than nothing, right? Well, at this point in my life, I disagree with that. At this point in my life, I understand that when you create a vacuum, God will bring something else to fill it. Something else that's even better than before. And for me, I'm changing so much. I'm evolving so much. A lot of vacuums get created, which can cause me to think that I'm doing something wrong. Like, why can't something just stay? Why can't I keep something around longer? And trying to make that about me and my worth, and it's not. It's not. I can feel my ego trying to do that to me, and I am not accepting it. I am not accepting it because I know who I am. And I know that even though I have things I can improve upon, of course I do. We all do. I always will, and I'll always want to get better. I am not blind to the fact that I'm an amazing human being with a lot of talents. I said it. I'm just going to go ahead and own it. I have a lot of talents. I have a lot of ways I can serve this world, and a lot of things I'm good at, and a lot of things I enjoy doing. And then there are some things that I don't enjoy. And often it's those things that I don't enjoy that I'm not good at, or maybe I'm okay at. Maybe I'm proficient, but it doesn't bring me joy. My heart's not in it. I can't pretend. And I'm in that point in my life where I can't pretend anymore. I can't hold on to an identity that isn't who I am. I see through it, other people see through it, and it just causes problems. So, this situation was a result of me trying to wear an identity of someone I no longer am anymore. And it wasn't working. And I knew it. And it's nobody's fault. That's the other thing. We want to blame people. Oh, this is going wrong. It's your fault. I'm not happy. It's your fault. All these things. It's you. And a lot of the times, it's a dance that both people do to each other. They're pointing at each other. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And it's just, they're both just sending this energy back and forth. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, it's just projectiles, little projectile missiles back and forth. Your fault. No, it's you. It's you. No, it's you. Just going back and forth. Do you think that that's productive for anybody? Do you think sending rockets of blame and shame and guilt makes any situation better? I don't. And in fact, I think it can really put a damper on any of the positive, loving energy that is sent through. Sometimes it can cloud that, and it can create a disturbance in the force. So, my point in all of this is, we know when the party is over. Sometimes we stay longer than we should. And when we know it's time, there is a way to move on from those situations that is loving and kind, where we can take responsibility and be accountable for the part we played in creating it, and also have gratitude. Because that's the other piece of this process I didn't share. As I was transmuting the energy, I started thinking, well, why did this happen? Because it wasn't all bad. There was so much good. And even the bad things, the things that really felt bad, I started looking at those. Well, how can these be good things? How has this really been a blessing to me? And instantly, I had answers. Well, I learned this, and I learned that, and I learned a lot of this. And I found out about, I just started thinking about all of the ways that my life had shifted and changed in just a short time. And there might have been a lot of volatility and turbulence that came with that shift, but it was also worth it. It was also worth it. And I can bless that situation. I can bless it, and I can send so much love to that and all of the people who were a part of that part, who were a part of this piece of my journey, this chapter of my life. I can bless them and send so much love to them, and know that it's time for us to go a different direction now. We went as far as we were meant to go together. We learned what we were supposed to learn, and now it's on to the next teacher and student. And we play both roles in our relationships. They're learning from us, we're learning from them. When you really look at it from a more spiritual lens, you can see the beauty and the divine orchestration that happens when we meet these people who create really strong emotional reactions within us. And oftentimes, one person can be the source of some really high highs and also some really low lows. And there are teachers. And it's okay. And so when I made that shift, into love and I started taking action from a place of unconditional Christ-like love, it changed everything. It made it a lot easier to bless and release. We both blessed and released each other. We both knew and we both understood, and it's okay. And this is powerful, powerful work. And this is needed more now than ever. I see a lot of people who are suffering because they can't forgive. And forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's not about excusing someone's behavior. It's not about giving someone more access to your energy than they should have or deserve. Forgiveness is for us. Because carrying around that energy, it's toxic. And it can bleed through in other situations and relationships that we're trying to build and grow. So we release it and we forgive more for us than anyone. No good comes from holding a grudge. None. No. Mm-mm. No good comes from being bitter and resentment and closing yourself off and being angry at the world. You block yourself when you do that. It's like there's an iron, and we want it to be this way. There's this iron door that kind of comes down. It's this big iron wall, and we become prisoners behind it. And we block so many blessings and opportunities by doing that. And we burn bridges in the process. And I say this as a person I have burned a lot of bridges. This is a lesson it has taken me 50 plus years to learn. It doesn't have to take you that long, but it takes however long it takes. If this was helpful to you and you want to stay connected to me and be involved in more conversations and stories just like this one, I would really love it if you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And if there's somebody in your life that you know could really benefit from this message, it would be an honor for you to share it with them. And I would also love to connect with you down in the comments. How did this land for you? And is there a situation right now that you are transforming and alchemizing yourself? Let's connect in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your beautiful energy with me. And I'll see you in the next video.